Okay, so welcome. This is a webinar, or actually a training about procrastination. And I know that so many people struggle with procrastination, especially now when there are a lot of pressure in the air. There's a lot of fears. Maybe they are your own, maybe they are somebody else's, maybe they are world's fears, what's going to happen and where where is this world going to go. So I decided to do a webinar about the procrastination and how you can start taking confident, conscious action, because there is no reason why you should wait for the right time or hold yourself back, or why you wouldn't be able to do what you want to do and need to do. And quite often we know what we want to do, and quite often we know exactly what we desire, but we just don't know how to get it, how to get ourselves going, and how we can take action. And I have learned through my work as a hypnotherapist and clinical hypnotherapist and rapid transformational therapist and as a coach over the years, that usually it's women who are tending to procrastinate more than men. And women overthink too much. You know, they analyze these things too much. They think about so much what other people are thinking of. And especially on online space, maybe you are working for your own business, or maybe you are not working for your own business, but you know, you want to shift your career, you want to take action and get things done, you want to make some more income or change the jobs, or make the change, take action to make the change happening. And you start comparing yourself to others, and you forget what is your richness. I would love to say that. Your brilliance, your beauty, your individual talents and unique gifts that you have. So today I'm going to talk about procrastination, anxiety, self-doubt, and why and where and what kind of emotions they actually are. Because those emotions are just emotions, and these are the four common emotions that are responsible for more unreached goals and unachieved desires than anything else in the world. These emotions are actually the reasons why most people don't take action that they want to, why they don't put themselves out there, and why they allow their fears, habits, patterns hold themselves back from getting something better, something that would make them happier, more successful, more abundant, more wealthy. So more people struggle with one of these emotions, and or some people struggle with all of them. And I think I've been one of them, one of those people that struggle with all of them. And in some times, you know, because I see that I'm going through different phases, but I will talk about that soon. But you know, how you can really recognize actually this inner resistance, how you can recognize and overcome these emotions. And it's not always easy to see like, hey, now I need to boost my confidence. And some, you know, you start procrastination, and it's so subtle, the shift, because they are often subconscious and based on the subconscious blocks or mental blocks that are somehow guiding your reality and telling you like it's not okay, it's not safe for you to put yourself out there, it's not safe for you to follow through your goals, it's not safe for you to become crazy successful or have the money or follow your passions and desires fully. So I'm going to share how you can get over these emotions. I'm going to share like tips and tricks along the way of this presentation, how you can really help yourself to get more clarity, inner clarity, so you can take action. And why this is not really about other people. This is not really about your childhood or the circumstances or time or other excuses that are saying that you're not ready, that you might keep telling yourself. This is about you and how you can learn and actually hone these skills to get over procrastination and boost your confidence. So hi everybody, my name is Jenny Glad. I am originally from Finland, so that's why am I saying my first name in a funny way. We say it Jenny in Finland. and not Jenny. As I've been living abroad for years and years and years in different countries, you know, of course, I've learned that quite many people call me Jenny, and that's totally okay. And I would like to call myself a change catalyst. So I'm a transformational coach, hypnotherapist, and Reiki master. I've also studied yoga and mindfulness, and you know, everything that I do is actually focused on how we can actually become and step into our full power and feel present and live our best life. And I help my clients mostly to reconnect with themselves, get more confidence, and change their beliefs and patterns behind all that stuckness that they might be feeling when they are in the crossroads, when they want to expand, when they want to create more, or get to know what is their purpose, what are their real passions, what are their authentic desires, or when they need to choose like which career to take. And sometimes people want to work a little bit with everything, and that's what we do. We create clarity. And my mission, why I do this, you know, I have actually a bigger mission. So I want to work with women, and I mostly work with women and some men too, but mostly with women and mothers. And I really want to help women to see how powerful they are and how beautiful they are, and how they can really start making changes from the inside out. And how many women are actually struggling with these things like a procrastination, confidence, but also doubting if they can do what they want to. They have long generational patterns that are holding us back. You know, they have learned from their mothers and grandmothers that this is the way that you should be a feminine woman, and those things are not working anymore in this life. And of course, as a mother myself, I stepped into my own self-worth, like when I got my daughter, like almost 2 years ago. And I realized, like, I don't want to pass my inner beliefs, my patterns, my confidence issues, my worthiness issues to her, but I want her to feel enough and believe that she can do whatever she wants to do. And this actually sent me to a personal journey, but also expanding my work and my business to work with more women and really share this message that we can change the world by changing ourselves. And I do personal coaching, I do hypnosis sessions, I do online courses, I do mindfulness coaching for organizations. So I do different kind of things. And today I'm living in Spain with my little family and enjoying my life here, working online with people all over the world. So welcome. Happy to see you all here. Happy to see you if you're watching the replay. I hope that you are enjoying this training. So my confidence story, as I open up it a little bit already, I actually thought about it a little bit before I was getting ready for this training. And I went back and back and back to my childhood, like where it all came from. And of course, when I've been working with myself and working with my own stories and excuses, I have had to go back to my own childhood. And as I already mentioned, I learned, and in Finnish culture, we are learned to be very humble and not to share our successes or even happiness, but you just kind of hide it and keep it yourself, because otherwise everybody else thinks that you're pretty or you're self-centric. And it's totally opposite than the attitude in USA quite often, and where I lived for a while. That was a really healthy dose of confidence that I got from there, because I learned that it's okay to talk about myself and my successes, my desires, and you can do that in a very nice way. So it's not really about like a bragging, and sometimes we do need to brag a little bit, and I think we women should brag about ourselves almost every day, and do this daily practice that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, that helps you to see your own brilliance and give you a healthy dose of self-praise and self-validation every day. This is what we need, because we're able to do so much, and we can do so much, and we are so capable of doing so much, but quite often we just like put everybody else before our needs, our emotions, and don't listen to ourselves really carefully. And in order to do that, of course, you need some confidence. But when I looked at my own story related to confidence, I have worked with myself and done deep confidence work and healing work with different people. Also, I'm doing a lot of self-healing, and I see that it's not like something that we can really hone, but it's a skill. And I talk about this in my Conscious Creator program a lot, like where I have a coaching, transformational coaching workshop about confidence. And it's a skill. Confidence is a skill, and boosting your confidence, you can practice actually and train yourself to be confident in the new situation and in different kind of situations. So my story, when I wanted to live my long corporate career, I was working in IT and digital marketing for a long time, over 12 years. And when I was studying engineering and IT in the new university in Finland, I decided that I will become a busy businesswoman. And we were going through a recession that time. And it was not really easy to find a job because everybody were getting fired at the same time because of the IT bubble in early 2000. And but I wanted to find a job, so I decided that I'm going to make it happen. And I was like, I needed to make it happen because I was just like, I had just graduated, I needed money. And it's interesting story how I felt like not that confident about myself, but I made a decision that I need to find a job. And at the same time, when they were firing other people, I was working in, and I was hired to this digital marketing company to start doing training and actually talk with people and show them how they can start using the systems that we were creating. So that was like a success story. But before that, I was holding myself back a long time. I didn't know what to study. I didn't know where do I belong. I didn't know what my skills are. I had no idea what my passions are. I think I somehow felt it already that way early on, that this is something that I want to do, that I do today. And but I still didn't listen to myself, and I kept going and started creating a career in IT. And quite soon it was clear for me that it's not for me, but I still went on for over 12 years, getting promotions, making more money, being able to travel. And that's the usual story. I got into it. I got stuck into that role, and I got stuck into that career because I was afraid to change. For years and years, on my back of the head, I felt like, oh my gosh, I need to do something else, something different. I want to work for myself. I want to follow my passions. I want to fulfill my desires, and I want to be my own boss. I hated when people said to me, like, when I have to do something in a certain time, because I always have appreciated the uniqueness, and that we are all our unique beings, like we are. And I hate comparison a lot because, of course, it's not who we are. We cannot be compared because you have a story, you have a unique story, you have a unique background, and you have your unique beliefs, you have your unique experiences in life. And I believe that we can learn from the others, but the more we start to listen to ourselves and start doing what we hear and being able to follow that inner voice requires confidence. So I hold myself back for quite many years until I was confident and felt confident that I need to change my career. And a lot of things happened before I was able to do that and become really clear, like I want to start working for myself. I trained myself as a life coach, and then later on as a hypnotherapist, because I'm so passionate about the mind and I'm really expert of the mind, how things work. And it's my gift as well to see quite quickly, like in people when I talk with them, what are their subconscious blockages and patterns. But it was not an easy story, it's easy journey. So it took quite many years. I struggled. I have created all kind of diseases on my when struggling with my habits. When I started working for my business, I brought in like a corporate habits, and they don't work like for the business owners. When we are responsible for our own time and we don't have anybody who's keeping us accountable for what we do. And I have learned to find the confidence, to work with my confidence every time when I want to expand my business, when I need to change, when I feel stuck, because we always go back to negative because it's the mind's job. So I want you to take a note that it's okay to go back to negative story, but it's not okay to let it go and kind of ignore those stories, those thoughts, those emotions that you have going on in your system. Because when you are aware of those emotions, when you are aware how you feel, when you are becoming aware that now in this moment I'm feeling that I'm procrastinating, I am not feeling that confident, that is power. When you are aware of what's going on inside you, you can change that. When you are not aware of those stories, when you are living in denial, you cannot change anything. So I want you to embrace yourself a little moment. If you now recognize, like, what are you struggling with? What are actually the challenges that you are facing now? And I would love to ask you, who in here is struggling with confidence, struggling with procrastination, self-doubt, or insecurities, or inner criticism? What is the main emotion that you are struggling right now? Because you are here, I know that something is going on in you and with your goals and desires. So are you struggling with one, with confidence? Are you struggling with two, procrastination? Are you struggling with the self-doubt? Or are you struggling with inner criticism or insecurities? What is your number? I would love to hear you. What is the biggest emotion that is coming up for you right now? Confidence and procrastination, wonderful. Yeah, and it can be all of them. You know, it's okay if you are struggling with all of them. Procrastination is a big one. Thank you. And I would love to know, what does it prevent you to do? What does it prevent you to do? Procrastination, lack of confidence. What do you don't do because you are procrastinating? And we are only talking about emotions, so it's okay. Because these emotions are full of the emotions that most people are struggling when they are putting themselves out there and when they are trying to do something new. So two of the biggest fears people have: they won't be accepted as they are, they will fail, and they are then afraid to put themselves out there. Okay. So you actually do the things that I want to do for your business. That's great. That's great. How is the procrastination still? Or is this a story of yours? I don't want to do all the things I want to do in one day. This is a wonderful example. And I was going to talk about this a little bit later, but we can only do 3 things per one day. Quite often people are setting themselves for failure because they believe and they are trying to do too many things in one day. This is so common. That's why I always guide my clients, and I have a system that you can do only 1 to 3 things per one day. And when you want to feel successful and complete at the end of the day, when you finish these 1 to 3 things per one day, you feel complete. And remember that, of course, sometimes the tasks are so that they are always taking longer than you think and expect. Things are always taking longer than you expect. I want you to take a note of this as well, so that you can feel accept so that you can accept yourself at the end of the day and say like, okay, I didn't get this done, but I have tomorrow. I have time next week. And so this is for if you try to do too many things for one day. This is the tip, like how you can actually get things done is to plan less. And I have this system, the clarity method that I have created. This is part of the Conscious Creator program as well. And you get access to my clarity planner that is including everything that you actually need for planning your days, your weeks, and next 3 months. And this tip of mine is coming from there, and this is the system that I use as well. So 1 to 3 things per one day. It's easier that you plan 1 week ahead and then split the things and tasks for days, for each day. And you have to be understanding and also how much time you use for yourself. Do you have your personal time as well? And if you're working too much, or you want to see like what's going on, so you want to do a little inventory of your life and days and habits so that you are able to get into this planning routine. So now Emma says like, I feel fear, and it's always find something else to do and avoid. Yeah, this is procrastination and it's fear. I will talk about the fears later. So the 2 of the biggest fears that you have: people won't be accepted as they are. That is the deepest belief, deepest fear that we all have. And or they will fail, and then they are afraid to put themselves out there. So when you are not procrastinating anymore, you will learn, when you have the confidence, you will learn that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not get everything done per one day, but you can move forward and you can accept yourself and the situation as it is. This is very important. It's so empowering that you say to yourself like, hey, I did my best today, but I have tomorrow. I can continue this later. I couldn't do better. And when your own expectations are realistic inside, that you cannot do more than you can in the time frame that you have, then there's so much, you can go with so much easier and finish your days knowing that you have planned the next day and what you need to do. So this is a system that I have created, and this is the system that you can start using already now, getting into the program or anything like that. So self-doubt, I want to start talking about self-doubt. So I will go through these 4 emotions, and then I talk about confidence, and then I talk how you can change, and I'm giving a lot of tips along the way, so when we are moving forward. So self-doubt actually is the emotion and decision that you decide that you are not even trying. You have decided that it's not even worth to try. And you let your mind and your thoughts rule. You're not able to follow your heart and gut. You are not taking inspired action, but you're letting your fears take over. So you're stopping to do what you really desire and not focusing on getting over the feelings and feeling the feelings and finding a new way, but you just give up. And this is related to the fears, of course. This is a fear-based emotion. And this is learned behavior. So it's a habit based on your earlier experiences, based on the earlier failures. It can be any kind of a failure. So this doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be a rejection. It can be a hurt. It can be an emotional block that is created by something that has happened that is creating a similar kind of an emotion of fear that has happened in your past in some way. So maybe somebody said something on online space. And I remember, I started when I was starting doing like my first Facebook ads, and I had no idea how to target the ads for the same group for the right interest groups or people who I wanted to join in my newsletter list or in my webinars. And somebody commented on one of the ads, and I was like, oh my God, my fears took over. I didn't do Facebook ads in a very long time. I was afraid to put myself out there because I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid of feedback because people can be so cruel online, right? And I was like, I can't take that. But that is part of the online space. We cannot control people and what they do, but of course we can really focus on our desires, on our visions, and we can actually create the ads that are working for our businesses and for us. So self-doubt is always learned behavior. And as I've been working with women with their self-doubt issues, it's quite often related to the beliefs that it's not safe to do and make the effort. I'm not loved, but most certainly I will be rejected and abandoned somehow by strangers or somebody who I know, because they will judge me, criticize me, and I don't dare to put myself out there anymore. And when we talk about procrastination as an emotion, it's triggered by uncertainties. Again, it's fear-based. Everything actually here is fear-based emotions. And it's triggered by uncertainties. And procrastination means hesitating. It means that we are waiting for the right time. We have the excuses that are saying it's never the right time to change. Like I said to myself, like when I wanted to transit my career and start my business, and I waited for so long time until I really struggled hard emotionally, even physically, and had to go through interesting experiences until I was ready to change. So maybe that was my journey, but you create your own journey. And when you are noticing yourself hesitating or waiting for the right time, the good questions to ask yourself, like, what is this feeling? What is this behavior procrastination is trying to tell me? What is not safe for me? And procrastination is creating overthinking, overanalyzing, wanting everything to be perfect before even taking action. This is super common. So everything has to be perfect before you are able to do what you want to do. Procrastination is a great excuse for hiding, staying small, not putting yourself out there, avoiding taking responsibility of your situation, delaying action, saying, hey, I will do this tomorrow, next week. And there is no courage to face the situation as it is. And always, 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 when we are facing the situation as it is, like, okay, this is where I am. This is what's happening. We are getting the sense of relief, and often clarity comes if we are only dare to ask ourselves these questions, like, where is this feeling coming from? Can I allow myself to feel it because it's in your body? And I will share soon at the end of this presentation, I will share tips and tricks how to get over these emotions. So procrastination means that you are avoiding, you have all the excuses in the world. And when you are becoming aware of these excuses, you can actually rewrite these excuses and empower and support yourself to make these changes. So people who procrastinate, they are afraid of failing at tasks they need to complete. And there is low self-esteem is related to this, and so low self-confidence is related to this emotion and the pattern. And there is increased fear of failure. And quite often when I notice myself being afraid that what could happen and what is the fear of failure, it's nothing, because if I don't take action, nothing happens. So then I set myself for failure. And if I take action, I get somewhere, even though it wouldn't work. I can try again. I become wiser. I see what is working and what is not working for me. So the subconscious block, and common reason actually for the subconscious block is I don't feel safe to do this. I have failed before, so I'm not going to put myself out there to feel the same pain. And it's not safe for me to allow myself to become happy and alive, fulfilled, successful, it's not okay for me to be and feel truly successful. And I'm talking about everyday success. I worked with Ariel, and he was video blogger, and he was struggling with making income. He had this amazing service, products, skills to create wonderful videos and amazing blogs, but he struggled with making money with that, because he couldn't ask money for it, because it was his passion business, and he loved doing what he did, but he didn't know how to monetize that. He didn't know how to actually increase his income and how to start asking money for what he did. And we went through like hypnosis sessions, and we did the intensive program with him that is including like coaching and hypnotherapy sessions. And he learned pretty quickly that it was not safe for him to put himself out there. And he needed to hide actually behind his family and get support from them. And he didn't want to leave actually his family, and he was already on his 30s, and he was not able to make the changes because he was so attached to his family and believing somehow subconsciously that they needed him to be there. So he was not able to step into his independency and detach from his family and the surroundings, even though they were supporting him. He was afraid to leave because that was his comfort zone. That was his safety zone. And he wanted to feel more driven and productive and creative. And after we had done, that's something that he was able to do. And now he's running really successful business and doing wonderful videos on YouTube, working for companies and making money, because he worked with his subconscious and he stopped allowing his subconscious patterns keep him stuck and procrastinated. So he wanted to really connect with his creativity in a new ways and allow himself to step into the new comfort zone that he created. And that meant for him starting to create and expanding his business. Inner criticism is projected by past failure. So if you have this nasty voice in your head, your mind, that is saying it's not a good idea to do these things, worse things could happen, it's criticizing you that you are not good enough, you are having some faults, all kind of things that I have heard people saying, what their minds are saying, that they are like their parents or not able to do that, not deserving, definitely. And they have this old resentment, and it's not usually their own voice. They have learned that voice from their past, usually from their caretakers in their childhood, that they have been very critical towards themselves. And critical people are usually so critical towards them, and talking inside chatter is so critical and so negative, and they can't help it but becoming very critical towards others as well. But it's very, very painful. And that kind of a judgmental, angry mind, when that angry mind is picking up. And there can be a fixation that something could go wrong. And this is quite often coming from the childhood, because there's somebody who said, be careful, all negative things could happen. Protect yourself, be super careful that things won't happen, that you don't break yourself or others or things. And they have been controlled in their childhood quite often, a lot. And because they have been controlled so much, they have become angry because they're not able to express themselves freely. And this goes on in the adulthood in different kind of situations. They're arguing with oneself, hearing these old stories that are not even true, and negative stories, and they focus on the reasons why they can't do what they want to do. And one of the emotions of actually beliefs is I can't change, I can't help it. And this is related to procrastination and low confidence. It's not in my hands. My situation is not in my hands. It's about world economy. It's about other people. It's about my spouse. It's about my partner. They are in charge. It's my situation that I can't start working. And this happened actually just recently. I was working with this wonderful woman, and she was ready to go back to start working with her business. And she had chosen to stay at home with the kids for quite some years, for 3 years. And she told me that I have done all these kind of things and worked with my family, sacrificed my career. And so she went on and on and on. And then I asked, like, did somebody force her to stay at home? And was it so that she was not able to go back to work and work with her career? And she said no. And she said, I have never actually thought about it. I have never thought about it, that it's my choice. And I have actually had this opportunity to be my children at home for 3 years, to see them grow and allowing them to get independent before going to school. And this was like a huge breakthrough for her, because she understood that she was actually choosing to do what she wanted to do by that time. But over the time, she learned that she's not enjoying staying at home anymore, and she had this huge passion and mission in her that is her fire. You know, she needs to fuel that fire of her passion and mission. And if she was not able to do that, she was not happy and satisfied. I actually have the same thing. So I needed to get back to work pretty soon, because my passion is my work. And even I love family life, you know, it's like I need to work so that I can feel happy and satisfied. And this is quite often, this is very, very common with women. And even with some women who have been staying at home for 15 years, they feel very stuck in their life. And they have this wonderful education and certifications and work experience, and they feel very insecure about themselves and getting back to work life, and start doing what they want. They have these wonderful ideas of their own businesses because they have grown, they have changed, and they can use their potential and skills in very different ways, but they doubt themselves and they struggle with their confidence because it's something new, it's something unfamiliar. They haven't been connected with that side or that kind of a world in a long time. And this is so often. So if you're now struggling with procrastination or your fears, and allow yourself to think that you are doing probably something new, and you are changing, and you are willing to change, and that is why your mind is creating this resistance. And the resistance is not a bad thing. Resistance is a good thing, because as I said, then you become aware of the resistance. Then you become aware of the emotions that you need to feel. And here you are listening to yourself. You're feeling the emotions and allowing yourself to release the emotions when you're feeling them. That is healing. And that's the beauty of it, because when you listen to yourself and listen to the feelings, the thought patterns behind the feeling, where is it really coming from? You get to move forward because you're feeling it. So you can really change that. So it's easy to stay stuck in playing in the victim role, and there can be a fear of taking responsibility. There can be leadership issues, and if you don't have the plans, if you don't have the desires and vision set that you know where you will take it, it's easy to struggle with the procrastination. So you want to create clarity, you want to create a plan. And I'm not talking about 10-year plan, but I'm talking about a weekly plan, a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan is a good plan, and so forth. So you want to know where you are heading, so that you can take inspired action and help yourself become successful today by tackling your goals one by one. So the way of seeking, people who have this belief that they can't change or help it, they can't stop procrastination, Quite often they lack connection with themselves. They're denying their own needs, and there could be a lack of self-recognition and self-knowledge. So they have lost the connection somehow. And when you are taking a little bit moment and asking yourself, like, what are you saying to yourself? Where are those excuses and stories coming from? And what are you trying to do? Getting really clear, what are you trying to do? And then asking, like, what would make a difference for you if you do it? Motivate yourself by asking these questions, like, how actually, what is your why you do these things? And if you have the right why you do what you want to do, and why you do what you do today, you are able to motivate yourself to move forward. And life is always risky. Life is always risky, and it's unknown. And now in this situation that we have in the world, we are struggling with a lot of like a fear of the future, and we don't know what's going to happen. But the future has always been very unknown. Future has always been risky, and we have to take these conscious decisions. And the more you are connected with yourself and your heart-based desires, and more you are able to listen to yourself and your own guidance, the better decisions you will make for yourself, the better ways you are investing your time and putting in the effort to the right things, so that you are not wasting your time and trying to do too many things at the same time. This is often like very common with the women business owners, that people are just hustling and believing the more is more, but less is more. Slowing down is more. Becoming really clear of your goals and what are you trying to do and how does it feel when you are there, and taking inspired action from today, from this moment, is the power. And that is your inner power. And you can do this, because I see people doing this. I have done it, and I'm doing it every day. So one of my clients, Christine, she struggled with the procrastination, and she was always late. She was all over the place. It was really difficult for her to keep the focus, and that was creating a lot of problems for her professionally and in her personal life. She had multiple companies that were just a little kind of a startups that didn't go anywhere. And she was working as a freelancer for one company. And she had this amazing idea. She's like a multi-passionate, wonderful, creative person, and having so big heart. And she couldn't stay consistent with any of her goals. She couldn't really build her business again. She couldn't make enough income. She hassled so much. Her life was she was always late. So that was kind of a defining how she felt. When you're always late, you need to rush. You struggle with your confidence. You're berating yourself all the time in your mind. And she became so restless, and she was not able to change her habits. And her background, the childhood, like when we worked, I worked with her for 3 months, and we did some coaching and hypnosis sessions, and to get really clear, like what was going on in her subconscious mind. And her background and childhood consisted of beliefs that she's not belonging. She had an ADD diagnosis, and she had started believing like she's always different. There's something wrong with her, that she cannot even focus, and she can always be restless, one in the classroom. And that's how she kind of showed up in the world later in her life, like 30 years later. And she believed that she cannot be productive and excellent what she does, and she didn't feel safe to be her, to slow down and start doing and taking conscious action and focusing on one thing at the time. But first of all, we needed to help her to really kind of slow things down and allow her to make her living in a better ways, and not exhausting herself in that way that she did. And we did some subconscious work and started setting really clear desires and visions and goals where she wanted to go and what would be most helpful for her in her situation. And she decided that she's going to apply a day job. And very soon the job kind of applied or showed up in her life, and she was able to use her potential and her talents and gifts in the right way in this position, and make a lot more money, so she was able to take care of the debts and start clarifying her side businesses that she was calling like the side hustles. And that already defined me, like what she was going to do and where she was going to take it, because everything in her life was defined by hustling. And eventually she started a new job and started creating clarity in her life. And that gave her security and the possibility to start working for the next steps in her life. So anxiety is a lot related to overwhelm, lack of confidence. And anxiety is kind of a manifestations of the self-doubt and about fears and beliefs. Anxiety is always related to the need of being over controlling the circumstances, the other people, the future. It causes a lot of worries, what's going to happen, helplessness. It's causing negative emotional cycle. And anxiety is a lot about like anxious people are focusing on what could go wrong instead of seeing the possibilities. And it can totally lead to panic or physical tension or symptoms, but quite often overwhelm and anxiety are going hand in hand as the emotions. And quite often anxious people can't do what they want to do. So there's procrastination on the behind, they are struggling, and it's happening that again, okay, they're sitting by their laptop trying to do something they want to do and need to do, and they just can't move forward. They can't actually take action. And the anxiety, the overwhelm takes over, and soon it becomes anxiety, and they doubt themselves, the fears take over, and that leads to kind of a panicky feelings. And this is quite common, actually. Anxiety is one of the most common emotions that we are probably dealing with in today's world. But interesting thing is that anxiety has the same physical symptoms as excitement, the feelings of excitement. There's physical arousal, heartbeat is racing, the cortisol levels are rising up, and the body is kind of preparing to take action. And when the action is not happening, the excitement is changing to anxiety. So instead of trying to calm down, and if you're not aware what's happening in your body, in your mind, you can't transform these negative feelings to excitement or positivity, because anything that you think and feel in that moment is about anxiety. So there's a way how to start calming yourself down in this moment when you feel overwhelmed, and you can talk to your mind, you can talk to yourself. And this is big. This is actually working with all the other emotions that I've been talking about today. And this is that's something that you want to learn, talking to your mind and becoming your best friend, because you can make a huge difference by becoming your best friend, talking to your mind like you're talking to your friend. And I'm talking about this kind of inner pep talks, but also like listening to your mind and what does it say, like talking to your mind aloud and saying to my mind, hey, it's very safe for us to do this. We are going to make it happen. I want you to support me. Can you please give me an advice, like what would be the next perfect thing to do? I want to get over these feelings. Can you help me to feel calm? And your mind is actually it is programmed to follow your orders. And your thoughts are creating your feelings. Your thoughts are creating patterns. Your thoughts are creating habits. And any emotional patterns, any childhood trauma, blockages are caused by your thoughts, because in some point you decided that you are maybe not good enough, talented enough, beautiful enough, successful enough, your family is not rich enough, or whatever it is, or it's too rich so that you cannot really enjoy yourself, you have to be shameful about the money that you have in your life, and all these kind of different things. There's so many excuses here that your mind is talking. So when you catch yourself that this negative chatter is starting, stop it and start talking to your mind. Pause, listen to yourself, listen to your feelings, feel your feelings, and you will start making a huge difference when you do this for a long time. Because as I said earlier, your mind is programmed to go back to negative. So it means that your mind is always going back to negative because its job is to keep you safe and protect you from all the harm, all the worries, all these ideas that you have in some point started thinking that this is the way life is going to be, or all these things that we hear, that what is not possible, or the fears, or what could happen. But you want to start shifting this talk, this inner chat, to a positive one, and your mind is learning by repetition. So when we talk about confidence is the ability to hear your ideas and trust them. Confidence is the ability to hear your desires and trust that you can do what you want to do. It's a skill of believing in and listening to yourself. Confidence is not a trait, it's a skill that must be built. It's a skill, it's like a training a muscle at the gym. By repetition, you can help yourself to learn this skill. And as I said, it's built through repeated acts and everyday courage and conscious decisions and choices that you make and choose for yourself every day. So connecting with yourself, with your intuition, what you want to do, and being able to listen to yourself, this wisdom of yours that is guiding you all the time, and taking inspired action on that moment when you feel like it, is really helpful. That is making you feel more confident. That is the skill that you want to train. And when it becomes an empowering habit that replaces current habits of self-doubt and fears, action is the way how to get over self-doubt, fears, anxiety, procrastination. And you can tell your mind like, hey, even we like to procrastinate right now, I don't accept that we are going to do this anyway. And then you take the tiny bit of little action that you can. So it's not a personality trait. You didn't born with low confidence. It's the other way around. You were born as a wonderful, confident person who expected that everything is possible for her and everything is going to be available to her, that she is totally worthy and lovable as she is, deserving to be taken care and fed and having all the comfort in her life. That's how you were born, and you can go back to that same feeling of confidence by working with yourself and honing this skill. So confidence is active. It's like energy. So we don't like, when we talk about the energy, we are going through a different energy levels every day, every single one of us. So it's not, one of my clients, we're talking about just recently about like, what does it mean? I want to stay in high energy all the time. And I was like, well, I would love to help you to stay in high energy all the time, but I think it's not possible. It's possible for you actually to get back in high energy when you notice yourself feeling lower energy vibrational emotions, like feeling sad, feeling depressed, feeling angry, that are low vibration, different kind of variations of emotions. And that is how confidence is as well. It's like energy. So you don't always feel that confident, but you can go back to it. You can decide like, hey, this is now when I bring my confidence. And soon I will show you the ways that you can actually boost your confidence. So confidence is situational. So it's not always on. And of course, like, you feel more confident when you are operating in your genius, when you are doing something that you are experienced to do, you have a long background and long experience and career, for example, and then you go back to the situation that you're talking with the same group of people in the meeting room, and you do that in a very confident manner because you have done that before, right? So again, be very gentle with yourself when you're not feeling that confident, and remind yourself that you can feel more confident because you can create the feeling of confidence. So when you are struggling with self-confidence and self-esteem, it can be difficult for you to expand your business or career, make more income. This is how usually it shows up. Apply a new job, get things done. It can show up as it's impossible to take right action, make decisions, put yourself out there, get over your fears. It can be daunting to speak up and express your feelings. Say to your partner, your boss, what you really feel like saying, or your friends or family. It can be difficult for you to defend yourself, and it can be easier that people are actually using you, abusing you somehow. And it could be that you're spending hours and hours for doing something and trying to do something simple. And I can relate to that, and I can relate many of these things. And for example, years ago, I spent many, many hours to write one email. And it was never good enough. It was not perfect. And at the end of the day, when I struggled to finish that email, I felt so anxious, so overwhelmed, and so negative and drained because I couldn't do what I wanted. But I pushed myself. I tried to force myself to do it. I didn't know how to change. I didn't know that I should have taken a break, get the clarity, allow myself feel good, and then write the email when I feel good about it. I thought that I need to follow the rules so rigidly, so that there are the rule book in this world that we need to do everything by the book. And I tried to be perfect to follow those rules because I believed that it's not the only way to success and create a successful business and work with my clients and allow my passions to flourish. So this was really painful for me until I realized it was the wrong way, the opposite way. It's not the rules that are defining us or our lives, but we can define the rules and do things when we feel good about it, and that is enough actually. So, however, we've been talking about all kind of emotions here, but those feelings that we've been talking about, self-doubt, anxiety, procrastination, they are normal. And sometimes procrastination is happening for purpose. Sometimes I see this actually quite often, that procrastination is supposed to happen when you are not ready, fully ready, or having the clarity on what you're trying to do and achieve. That if the time is better later. And quite often I see this happening when people have had their doubts and they haven't been listened to themselves. And they have kind of overwritten these feelings, not going deeper into the inner wisdom and asking what is the right thing for me to do, and not being courageous to listen to themselves, but thinking like, no, this is the time, I'm going to force this happening right now. So here's the one thing: high achievers, those most talented, successful people you admire of all the people in the world, they all have doubts and fears. They have these similar feelings still where they are right now. So that's what I mean when I say you go back to these feelings, but you don't have to allow those feelings to rule your life. And what these people, actually these successful people that you admire, they do different is that they have learned to get over these feelings. They have learned that feelings are just feelings. And they have learned to get over their fears and natural insecurities, release the emotional attachments with their past, and work through their emotions when they show up. So this is really, really powerful. And this is the key. So no matter what, what's going to happen, take action. Work with yourself and work with your patterns, work with the past. And how does it feel actually when you have worked through your past related to the issues that you are struggling with? Quite often my clients say, I feel so much lighter after doing the sessions. I just notice myself acting differently when they have worked through and released their subconscious blockages. And they feel that the foundational feeling of procrastination, the fear, the anxiety is not there anymore. I can personally relate it to that as well. There can be different kind of feelings, but it stays on the top. It's not taking over. It's not becoming so overwhelming that it stops you from operating. So this is a big difference. So confidence and your behaviors and thoughts are actually a choice. And it's a choice to allowing yourself to try. And no matter what, because you can, if you decide something, you can either succeed or you can make a mistake or fail, but you can learn from it. If you're not taking action, if you're not moving forward at all, nothing happens. So learn to take a risk, and life is always risky. People can always judge us. People can always criticize us. And the more you focus on yourself and doing your own thing and focus on taking action based on your desires, the more you can move forward. So allow yourself to face the unknown and ask for what you want and make a plan. You cannot really fail. So the law of momentum means that you are taking inspired action and you do things when you feel excited about it. Taking fast, inspired action changes everything. And Mel Robbins has a book about 5-second rule, so you want to check it out. And she's saying simply in this book, when you get a new idea, you have 5 seconds to put it forward and take action for it. And it could mean that you're taking a note, you're making a phone call, you're sending a text or email, but you just follow your idea and action. And I feel these ideas are coming through the mind chatter. So that's your higher self. That's your spirit. That's your soul. That is your real self that is talking in those moments, and that is guiding you always the right direction. So overcome your natural resistant mind consciously, but gently and lovingly. Talk to your mind that helps you to make the changes and change your feelings, change your thoughts, and change your mindset. Really set yourself in success. And when you change your behavior, you change your energy as well. Because how many times have you seen that you are snapping out of the feeling and taking action and suddenly you feel good about it? You put yourself out there and you just make it happen. So there is no problem or worries that you cannot solve with action, some kind of an action. And if you don't know what it is, ask help, ask guidance, listen to your own wisdom, listen to the answers, and do what you need. And then you're done. Take action. And one thing is do the most difficult thing in the morning or first thing, like when you start working. Take care of the most difficult thing at first, and then you feel good about the rest of the day and you get a lot of other things done. So instead of putting that last, and then the other things are always taking longer than you expect, do the most difficult thing that you don't want to actually do in the morning. And sometimes it means exercise in the morning, write your desires down in the morning, take care of the work thing in the morning, after you have fed yourself, and of course get ready for things that you want to. Always prioritize yourself and feeling good. And when you have the clear intentions and visions, taking action is so much easier, because then you know every day what you want to do. And the more you push and try to control, the more resistance you create. It's that is the energy. What we put out there comes back to us. Pushing, striving, stressful, worries, fears, everything kind of resonates until we're ready to listen and release those emotions. So I was working with Anne just recently, and she was having like a success blockages, huge success blockages. She couldn't get the raise she wanted. And when we looked into it, and actually we were talking about success blockages, and she went back to school. In her memory, she went back to school, ballet classes, and teacher were bullying her and really overpowering her multiple times. This happened to her at school, at ballet classes. It was really like her default pattern that we needed to break in order for her to release and allowing herself to see how successful she already is, allowing her to receive more. And it was interesting to see that this repeated in her childhood, but it repeated in her relationships as well. And she always thought that she's not enough, she's not good enough, she needs to work too hard for everything. And she said like that I need to kill myself for success. And she didn't like that. She was working too much, always doing too much, trying to please everybody too much. And she was super successful in her career, but she was not able to see that or enjoy that at all. And everything went ahead of her own emotional needs and her personal needs. And she felt that she shut down, she didn't have a voice, and she didn't have definitely the confidence to accomplish success and the race that she wanted and needed and deserved fully. So when we worked through with her subconscious blocks, or really again like in coaching and in the hypnosis sessions, she became free to ask and say, she got her voice back that she has lost already at the age of 5. And that was a beautiful story, how these things are actually, when we are releasing the emotions, when we are releasing the emotion from the body and from the nervous system where all the memories are stored, you feel so much lighter and freer and happier. So courage is not only the absence of the fear and anxiety, it's about proceeding towards the set desires despite of those feelings. And nothing really diminishes the anxiety or doubt or fears faster than action. So now my question to you, now when you know all this information, the fears or feelings that you're struggling with, do they actually help you? What do you think? I would love you to type in the chat. How do they actually help you? And what do you think about them now? Is it helpful for you to let yourself feel these emotions and fears? Who would you be if you were able to overcome and focus on your desires and the goals behind of these emotions? So now that you hear all this, what would make actually a biggest impact on you and help you move forward? I want to ask you, what would make a biggest impact on you and help you move forward? I want you to think about these questions. So you can write these questions down and think about these questions, because it's going to be very, very helpful for you to actually look inside of your situation and become clear of what needs to go and how you can actually change. So now how to change. Now I'm going to give you a lot of tips and guidance how to change. Create clarity. Definitely helpful, because I know Serena is saying, I can overcome it. Yeah, you're not definitely only one who's feeling this, because everybody's feeling these feelings, but we just don't talk about it. I would be successful. Yeah, I love that. I would be successful. That's amazing. I really love that, because our success is very unique, and what makes us happy and successful and feel successful is very unique as well. So we all have our desires and goals that we want to accomplish and create a life that looks like us. So let's move forward and think about the ways how to change, how you can actually change. So create clarity is the first one. Create a morning practice or evening practice that you are going to set the goals and intentions for the next day. Put it in your schedule, and in the morning you have your schedule ready, because then you know what you start working on at first. And remember to do the most difficult things at first. So you plan your days for success, and this is how you can actually plan your weeks and the months. And in Conscious Creator program, I am teaching, and you get the planner so you can plan the next 3 months. And I really motivate you emotionally. You get your why and inner motivation why you should do this, because I remind yourself your why you are doing this, why it's important to you. And if you're working for yourself, remind of yourself, if you have family, if you need to pay the rent, if you need to buy the food, you have reasons why you need to move forward, why you need to take action. Allow yourself to be inspired and feel motivated by your responsibilities as well. So plan your days for success. Only 3 things per day, and maybe even less, because everything is going to take longer than you expect. Break down the big goals for small daily steps. Schedule time for it. Plan your days, put it in your schedule, and also put the lunches in your schedule as well. Your exercise time, your time when you spend with your family or go, seeing friends, or meeting your spouse, have time with your partner. So it's important, because otherwise it's not happening. And when I started doing this, and when I started actually creating this method is based on my own experiences. I started putting everything in my schedule. Now I don't have to do that, because I have my weekly list that I pretty much follow up daily on how do I do, and give myself feedback on every day in a positive way, what's been happening, or what's been doing, what I've been doing, so that I can really follow up and feel connected with myself every day, so that I'm not denying what didn't work today, or what didn't work this week or this month, but I'm taking responsibility. Hey, this is working, this is not working. Maybe I shouldn't do those things that are not working for me, right? Maybe you should stop doing things that are not working for you, but you don't actually know until you create clarity and become aware that what are the things that are working for you and not working for you. And this needs to be followed up. For example, if you want to make more money, follow up money. Focus on what you are focusing on increases. So you want to focus on positive things, and of course being very realistic by what's happening, so that you can release and change and stop repeating the things that are not working. Know what you want is the second one. So become really clear. What is that? What do you want? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to become? And when the emotions hit during the days, do this. Take a break. Go for a walk. Drink water. Snap out of the emotion by just moving. Go to a different place, space. Snap out of it just like this. You just decide, I snap out of this emotion, and you move physically from to another place. This is a very common habit. Release tension and set intention. This is a breathing practice. Very, very powerful, helpful. It requires that you are allowing yourself to become aware of yourself and your feelings. And you take a deep breath in. And you decide to release tension with the exhale. You set intention in your mind with the inhale. Set intention. I want to feel good and calm, confident. Release tension from your body. Yeah, and you allow yourself to relax and release tension. You do this a few rounds, and you see that you have created different feeling. And you can use this release tension, set intention, breathing exercise with anything. When you are meeting your clients, Having a stressful situation at work, release tension and set intention. How do you want it to go? This is measuring your self-worth, by the way, because you can ask whatever. Universe is supposed to deliver for you, and it is delivering for you because you're worthy and fully deserving what you want and desire at this very moment. So it's up to you. What do you dare to ask? Allow yourself to, or give yourself permission to ask your highest good all the time, because you deserve it, no matter what kind of feelings, fears, ideas, thoughts you have about yourself. Talk to your mind, talk to out loud, say what you want. And this becomes a habit. Then you get connected and feel really good about yourself. Check in the moments, your feelings, your behavior. Learn when it starts and what feeling it creates. And if it triggers, what triggers procrastination, hesitation, or self-doubt? Start taking notes. At first, when you're practicing how to do this, start taking notes. What actually creates and triggers the emotion of procrastination, hesitation, and self-doubt? Allow yourself to be excited about your own possibilities and goals. So when you feel excited and anxious, decide that you are feeling excited about it. Be excited about it, because why you do what you do is you have chosen to do that. And if it doesn't feel really good, don't do it. Don't even try. Don't waste your time for the things that you hate. It takes courage to ditch things that you don't like. So take conscious action every day. Set clear next steps and action points how to reach your goals, one step at the time. So the easiest action step at the time. Now, when you start practicing your confidence, go easy, go slowly. Allow yourself to become a student of your own life. Allow yourself to learn and try, make mistakes and try again in different ways. And at the end of the day, record your progress daily and praise yourself for taking action. It motivates you to take more action. Focus on the day in the evening and write down everything that worked well on that day. And take the lessons of the day. What didn't work that well? That's all right. You're just a human being. You're doing your best, right? Let your feelings guide you. So don't let your feelings lead you. Feel your feelings and the truth behind them. Recognize the fears and doubts that are based on your own beliefs and do the work to let them go, and don't let them hold back. This is up to you. And of course, work with your subconscious and work with your past experiences. So if you feel that there is this deep, overwhelming feeling behind that you have struggled with something that you deeply want, and you have questioned yourself if it's really, really, really what you deeply want in your heart, and if you really believe that you want, you can make it happen and you can deserve it, and the way that you are trying to do that is the right way for you, then keep going. But if there's constantly something that is coming back to you in different patterns, repeating in your life, in different areas of life, and you start seeing the same pattern repeating, work with your unconscious, because there's something in your past that is holding you back. And quite often, if the affirmations are not working, if talking to your mind is not working, if you set the goals and you're not still doing what you want, you can program your mind and help yourself rewire your mind with the new thoughts and work with the subconscious. So when you work with the subconscious blocks and fears and release them, you can feel free and program your mind with success and confidence in a whole new way, in a whole new level, on the subconscious level, because your subconscious is leading your life 90%. So if there's some kind of a blockages from your past and you struggle with that, allow yourself to do the work. There's nothing wrong with you. We all need to do this kind of a work. We all have the stories. We all have the life experiences that are coming from the past. And most people, they don't take action and responsibility. They don't dare to look inside. They are afraid of it. And it's not something that you need to be afraid, because you become free when you are closing these emotional wounds and let go of the emotional attachment with the past. So you can change your habits by repetition. You can get over the procrastination by becoming aware of it, still taking action. And it's okay actually to feel these feelings. And it's okay that you allow yourself to feel these feelings. And if you haven't been able to change that, start working with your subconscious mind. And of course, I have something that I would like to help you with if you want to do this kind of a work. And if you now know that you have tried everything that you can in order to make these changes and feel more confident about yourself, I would love to invite you to my new membership that I have launched this month in September. And the next few days until Wednesday the 30th, when you join, you get the founder's fee. It's only $33 per month, and you get access to 9 wonderful transformation workshops. And in these recorded workshops, you can work with yourself with anxiety and with the fear of the future. There's 2 workshops about confidence and procrastination. One is the coaching workshop that is helping you to create clarity, like what is that, what do you need to do with yourself, and how you can actually create more confident habits, and what are the stories that you tell yourself. The other one is guiding you through the subconscious process. And the third one is the confidence that we're working in subconscious level, that is allowing you to really go deep in your confidence and boost your brain and rewire your mind with the new confident beliefs. And the last one is the self-worth and enoughness. So because most women actually can't receive because they are not feeling worthy and deserving to have it, the happiness, the success, and the self-worth is fully related to what are you actually receiving. I'm talking about money, I'm talking about love, I'm talking about success, and this is something that is helping you to start receiving more. But the other conscious creator workshops that are part of this membership are helping, coaching workshops that are helping you to make massive changes. There's workbooks included, there's meditations included, and you can move forward. And I'm supporting you in the Facebook group, so I'm there to answer to any of your questions. I'm supporting you if you have any blockages or if you're feeling stuck with something, so that you can move forward. And we'll have a monthly workshop. So similar to this, we go deep into the healing, doing deep work. So I'm not keeping it in this like a high level, but we are talking about real things, and I'm happy to, of course, hear what kind of issues that you want to focus. But in October, we are going to focus on confidence and procrastination, and that is the theme to get you going and to help you move forward. And of course, if this doesn't sound right for you, I am doing private programs, so intensive programs and longer coaching commitments. All my programs, private programs, are including all the sessions, every kind of a methods that I use, and it's going to help you to make a massive, big changes in your life, in your business, in your career, or in your relationship if you choose to do so. So I'm happy to help, happy to answer any questions that you might have. And now I would love to know your feelings, your questions that may have showed up during this presentation, this webinar. What are your feelings right now? How do you feel about yourself? Is there something that I didn't cover? If there are no questions, I would love to wish you happy evening. I'm going to share the links with the membership, and if you want more, if you're ready for more, if you're ready to dive deeper and start working with yourself on very transformational level, and deep level, I'm going to share you a call or scheduling a link to my scheduling system so that you can book a call. Oh, I love them. So you can book the call. Sorry, I'm just seeing the comments here. I'm celebrating the comments here. So you can book the call with me. I'm happy to help and talk with you first, like what would be the right option for you. So of course, I'm happy to chat with you, hear about you, and I'm here to support you. And Serene, I love that, congratulations for the call and good luck with the headhunter. You can do this. Focus on excitement and focus on seeing your possibilities and your visions and what do you really desire. You can do that. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you for everybody who joined the live call. And if you're watching the replay, I'm going to post the links below this replay. So have a lovely week. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and found it helpful. Bye bye.